I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Here we are. Everybody's probably really cold this morning, so hope everybody's staying warm. Coming up on the show, King Trump trolls hard. Are we going to get DOGE dividends? We're going to be talking about that. And then also Dems double down despite dreadful digits. Look at that.
How do you like that?
That's some good alliteration right there. All that and so much more coming up on the show today. You guys make sure that you're subscribed to this podcast. Please do that. Just click the subscribe button, send to your friends, etc. Also, for all the things chicks, you can reach us and see us at chicksontheright.com/links. And then I have to mention dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Make sure that you are giving your dogs Ruff Greens because it'll make them happier and healthier and it'll make them live longer. I mean, this is how I feel about it. Get your free Jumpstart bag. Just cover shipping at roughchicks.com. Code CHICKS. You can transform him in 90. It's true you can because Theo is living proof. He was a hot mess when we got him.
Yeah,
and
he
now
was.
He's so soft. So silky. So try it. Roughchicks.com. Code CHICKS. Do it.
How is everybody this morning? This is going to be the mishmashiest show of all time. Oh
I love the mishmashery. Love it.
Yeah, there's going to be some serious mishmashery. And as you know that I like to do when we have like difficult or terrible news to cover, I like to get it out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way.
So we're going to do that. We're going to get right to it. And I'm just going to admit it to everybody. And I say this shamelessly. I am a xenophobe when it comes to Palestinians. And this is just a godforsaken, ghoulish bunch of monsters that live in Gaza. They're horrible, and you will not convince me otherwise. You will not convince me that there is anyone innocent in Gaza. They, as you probably know, have returned the 4 murdered people, including a grandpa, a mom, and her 2 babies. They decided not to just return their murdered bodies to Israel today, but to have a big celebration beforehand. And they paraded their coffins on a stage. They played happy, joyful music. And then you have to see some of these screenshots because it just makes my head want to explode. So this was what they drew, like Netanyahu looking like a vampire, and then put that above the photos of this lovely family. They're trying to suggest that it's Israel's fault that this family is dead. So this is just one image that you can see. This is like the stage that they built, and like so many hundreds of Palestinians came to participate in this festival. Mm-hmm. And it's beyond comprehension how evil these people are. They brought babies to watch the other babies in their body bags. Like this is
dead. People defend it and they'll somehow try to make them the victim, right? It's insanity, absolute effing insanity. And I assure you that if somebody did, to America, what they did on October 7th to Israel, I mean, the full force of everything that we've got would be fighting, and we would try to annihilate those people. You know what I mean? And
rightly so. They should all be wiped off the face of the earth. This is sick.
Yeah.
And this is another thing. They had a table of weapons for little kids to try out.
Yeah.
I mean, just like Aviva Klompas said, it's like a carnival. That's how they were treating this.
It's unbelievable. And that's why they are the way they are. They keep raising kids to do this. They raise kids to hate. They raise kids to be killers. They raise them to be monsters. I feel like it's never going to end. You know what I mean?
I know, until they're all gone. And that, I mean, I know that sounds super harsh, but like, these are the kinds of images that I like sending to the squad and saying, how do you defend this? How do you still try to say that these are somehow innocent people? This is another thing. On each of the coffins, there was a sticker that said date of arrest October 7th, 2023.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's what they put on each coffee. I mean, it's again, it's beyond comprehension.
And there
the
were
level
babies.
of evil. Yeah,
They
two
put it on
babies.
like a mother and two babies. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it is. It is incomprehensible. I can't I never ever want to understand that.
Yeah, it's just a sickness that I cannot wrap my head
Right.
around.
Mm-hmm.
It's just vile. And then speaking of foreign affairs, we've got a lot to get to when it comes to Ukraine. But first, I want to tell you what I ate for dinner the other night.
Oh, tell me, what did you eat for dinner the other night? I'm dying to know.
Look at this. Look, wait.
Oh
Yeah.
God, is it
I'll send you a
pasta?
picture. Yeah. Doesn't that
looks
look amazing?
It does. Did it look like that when you were done?
Yes. Well, not
Yeah.
when it was done because it was in my belly.
Right.
But
You
when
know
I
what I mean.
cooked it,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
when I cooked it, and that's the thing. This is from Home Chef, right? And so this one is called Weeknight Saucy Ground Beef Penne. And here is what I love about Home Chef, which is a meal delivery service, which allows you to feel like you're the best cook in the entire world and sends you these yummy, fresh ingredients for each meal. And what I love about it is the diversity in terms of the variety of the kinds of meals you can get. And I'm not just talking about the kinds of dishes. I'm talking about, say you're a person who is a great cook. You can get stuff that you're cooking, right? Like you're chopping up all the things. You're just getting the ingredients and the instructions for how to make this elaborate meal. So if you love to cook and you're good at it, you can get stuff that you're still cooking, but you are only getting the ingredients that you actually need. And then if you're like me and you're not so talented at it, and you just want something easy that can literally just be thrown in the oven, but is still super fresh, you've also got the oven ready choices too. You can even get microwave ready choices if you really want to do the easy route. So there's all these levels of difficulty, if you will. But everything that we have had from Home Chef has been absolutely phenomenally delicious, like without exception. And you actually can end up saving a bunch of money because you're only getting the ingredients that you need for each meal. They've got over 30 options per week. You can subscribe. You can skip weeks if you want to. You can edit your week. You can choose all kinds of different things. It's super, super versatile. I absolutely love this service. You can get 18 free meals plus free dessert for life when you have an active subscription, and you get free shipping on your first box at homechef.com/chicks18. Chicks18 for the 18 free meals. So don't forget the 18, Chicks18. Homechef.com/chicks18. Check it out. You're going to love it. I love it. And you know what I love best is it takes the thinking out. You know, like one of the worst questions you ever ask your spouse, what are we having for dinner? It's like the most exhausting question to ask.
Yeah,
and
the other one's
asked.
like, I don't care. Yeah,
right.
You do. You totally
It's
do.
the worst. And then this just takes the thinking out of it because okay, well, this is in the refrigerator. This is what we're having tonight. It's awesome. All right, let's get to what's happening in Ukraine. Are you ready to read? Because you're going to do some reading.
I'm so excited about reading.
You're going to read Trump's tweet about Zelensky. They're now getting into a little bit of a fight.
I like it. I'm there for it. I'm here for the fight.
So here is Trump's tweet.
Think of it, a modestly successful comedian, blah, blah, Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed while the United States will get nothing back. Why didn't sleepy Joe Biden demand equalization in that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us? We have a big, beautiful ocean of separation. On top of this, Zelensky admits that half of the money we sent him is missing. He refuses to have elections, is very low in Ukrainian polls, and the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. A dictator without elections, Zelensky better move fast or he is not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we are successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia, something all admit only Trump and the Trump administration can do. Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. Yep. I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered and millions have unnecessarily died, and so it continues. Boom!
I mean, he said the things.
He said all the things. I mean, he was actually nice about it. I wouldn't have been as nice.
And people are questioning because Trump keeps throwing around this number that Zelensky has a 4% approval rating, and other people are saying he actually has like a 53% approval rating.
Yeah, but how would you know?
Well, exactly. Like how if there's no elections like that,
how do you know?
I feel like if he can go around and like meet celebrities and do all the things, that there really doesn't need to be martial law, and that he can allow an election to take place.
Totally.
I don't see the reason.
And people think that Trump is a dictator. No, you are supporting us giving our taxpayer money to an actual dictator.
Yeah.
How is that okay? Defend that, liberals. And the gravy train is ending. And Lindsey Graham needs to
we'll
go.
get to him. Yeah, we'll get to him. But so Zelensky obviously is seeing this play out. He's very mad that he wasn't invited to the talks in Saudi Arabia. And so he's been spouting off about Trump as well, which caused JD Vance to get into the mix. And he said, quote, "The idea that Zelensky is going to change the president's mind by bad-mouthing him in public media, everyone who knows the president will tell you that is an atrocious way to deal with this administration."
God, I love him. I just love him. Look at all the balls, you guys. Look at all the balls coming back into the White House. It's so nice. It's so nice to see giant, hairy balls.
They're swinging, man. They are swinging.
I'm there for it. Right.
And Senate Majority Leader Thune was also asked about Trump's comments, and he's in a position where he has to be very tactful and diplomatic. And so here's what he said when he was asked about Trump's comments.
Well, I like I said, the president speaks for himself. What I want to see is a peaceful result, a peaceful outcome. And I think right now there's a negotiation going on, and let's see where that ultimately leads. Hopefully it'll get to the outcome we all want to see.
What? Yeah, that was very diplomatic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was because
politician-y.
The gravy train needs to end. It's ridiculous that we funded all of this and he doesn't know where so much of the money is. Unacceptable.
It really is. I mean, enough is enough already. And Mike Waltz, who I dreamed about the other day, and not in a good way. He also he was on one of the talk shows to explain the thinking behind Trump's strategy. Here he is.
Trump is focused on is ending the fighting, going to a ceasefire, and having a broader agreement. That started with his call with President Putin last week. He immediately had a call with President Zelensky. They have a term for this in diplomacy called shuttle diplomacy. I don't think anyone should be really, criticizing the president for trying to drive this to a diplomatic solution. And what he said yesterday and today is, why hasn't President Zelensky tried to end this war for the betterment of his country? And we have to ask ourselves, is Ukraine's position improving or not on the battlefield? And then thirdly, from the European perspective, I just got off the phone with my counterparts from the United Kingdom, from France, from Germany, and said, look, we welcome Europe stepping in and offering security guarantees. We welcome Europe. We've been asking for years for Europe to step up and contribute more to not only their own defense, but Ukraine's defense. All of that is now happening, and that's because President Trump is driving this very quickly. Some people may not like the order that it's happening, but you have to talk to both sides to get both sides to the table. And that's what we're doing. That's what we did last week and just a few days ago in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, pay your fair share.
And, I'm glad to hear him say that he's talking to his European counterparts and they get it. They are starting to realize, hey, you can't just piggyback on the United States forever. And freeloading. Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
But all it took is, and all it would have taken is for somebody to stand up for us and to say, America first, you're not going to screw over the American taxpayer anymore, because that's essentially what this is. And Trump is willing to do that. And people who are standing in the way of that, I just don't understand.
Same.
There is something for them. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The former prime minister of Finland also spoke out about this and said it is entirely reasonable for American taxpayers to question why they should shoulder more of the cost of European security than Europe itself.
Yeah.
Given the clear message from Washington, it is simply unrealistic not to strengthen Europe's own defense capabilities.
Right.
Well, hallelujah. This is exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Like, this is common sense stuff.
Yeah, it really, really is. And then you mentioned Lindsey Graham.
Uh-huh.
And so right now, the House and Senate are working through their budget proposals. Lindsey's proposed budget includes funding Ukraine through 2030.
Oh my God, no. He can pay for it his damn self. And somebody get him out of there. Get him out,
God.
South Carolina. What are you doing?
I will try.
I just
The next opportunity.
Freaking nightmare. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's
and
so
you know
in
how
love
to
with him.
really
He's so
tell.
look how in love with Zelensky he is.
Oh, and you know how you can really tell that this relationship is toxic is Zelensky then tweeted this glowing review of Lindsey Graham.
Oh my God.
He said, quote, "I spoke with Lindsey Graham. We greatly appreciate the bicameral and bipartisan support of the U.S. Congress to the Ukrainian people in our fight against Russian aggression. As always, Senator Graham is constructive and doing a lot to help bring peace closer.
I bet he is.
All important that security guarantees remain on the table and that they work for Ukraine for real and lasting peace. Thank you for your support."
F off. And Lindsey Graham, seriously. And Lindsey Graham, are you kidding me? I mean, he just is licking this guy's butt. A dictator. Why are you doing that, Lindsey? What's in it for you? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, Trump was not happy about Lindsey either and said, quote, "The House and Senate are doing a spectacular job of working together as one unified and unbeatable team. However, unlike the Lindsey Graham version of the very important legislation currently being discussed, the House resolution implements my full America First agenda, everything, not just parts of it. We need both chambers to pass the House budget to kickstart the reconciliation process and move all our priorities to the concept of one big, beautiful bill. It will, without question, make America great again."
Big mistake by Lindsey Graham to take this route. I mean,
What is he doing?
Well, there probably are kickbacks for him in some way, and so he feels like he's personally benefiting from this relationship with the dictator. But American people were smarter than he. I mean, he doesn't give us enough credit, just like a lot of politicians don't give us enough credit. He's basically like a leftist in that case. Like,
yeah,
we know what's going on. We gave you a mandate. What are you doing? We don't want any more money to go to Ukraine. So till 2030, you are high.
And
high.
Why would you project that we would even need to support them in any way for that long, for 5 more years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He will be. He's on his way out. I mean, this seriously,
I hope so.
This is the end for him. Because people see it. And I hope that the South Carolinians will be like, we're done. We're done here. We'll find somebody who actually will put America first, because that's conservatism, right?
I hope so, but you know how dumb voters can be, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Dumb. You guys got a great review from one of our audience members about Healthy Cell, 2 different products about Healthy Cell. And so this email is from Carrie Jessmer. And Carrie says, "I've been using Healthy Cell for hair, skin, and nails along with the REM sleep product for about a month. After the dreaded menopause, I became the queen of insomnia.
Yes.
My doctor gave me some sleeping pills that didn't even work. I would sleep for 2 to 3 hours, then be up the rest of the night. Since using REM sleep, I've had a month of solid, good sleep. It's been heavenly. Following a serious illness in 2015, my hair thinned out and didn't look healthy again, often falling out far too much. It took almost all 4 weeks to notice the difference, but just before I ordered my next box of the Healthy Skin and Nails product, my hair had really improved. It's thicker, there's less loss, and looks and feels healthy. Thank you so much for introducing me to Healthy Cell, you jerks. It's been great for me. Love you 2 gals." And then again, that's from Carrie Jessmer, which is a great review. And let me share my screen really quickly, because the coolest product is at healthycell.com. We did not even know that this was a thing, but if you go to healthycell.com/chicks, look at this cool thing that you will find. They have every single one of their different products in this adorable little travel bag, this cotton canvas travel bag, so that you can try every flavor and every kind of gel pack.
Right.
Yeah. And see if you like the taste and if you feel like you could do it continuously. This is less than $20 for that whole kit. It's called the Discovery Kit. And
yeah,
you
it's
can,
really
of course,
awesome.
order that.
Because there's some I haven't tried. There's some I haven't tried yet. I actually want to try some.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is the best way to do it. You can visit healthycell.com/chicks. Don't forget to use promo code chicks. You're going to get 20% off of your first order. Try the Discovery Kit. If you're worried about the taste, which I don't know why you would be, because they're all like candy
really
treats
good
to me.
Right.
But this is a great way to try all their products. Again, it's healthycell.com/chicks. All right, moving on. We need to talk about King Trump.
Yay.
You guys, he is the troll master. Okay.
Mhm.
So do you remember like I forget how long ago now, it's probably been 3 or 4 weeks since we talked about Kathy Hochul in New York implementing this congestion fine or fee.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
if you're coming on to into Manhattan, you basically have to pay an extra fine to just be able to drive on the roads there.
Mhm.
It's absolutely crazy. It was twofold idea to reduce the amount of congestion from traffic and to also earn revenue. And the way that do you guys remember like the way that she teased it? Because originally they wanted it to be a 15% toll. And then she was like, hey, guess what? We're saving you all money by making it only 9%.
Yes, I do remember that. Like what
my
a
God.
racket that was. Uh-huh. Thanks.
Well,
thanks so much for just bending
thanks
me
for
over
saving.
halfway. I'm just
My
bent over a
God.
little bit, not the full bending over. Oh my God.
Right. So Trump decided that seems like a total scam and it doesn't seem
Mhm.
like it's the right thing to do. So he tweeted, congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king.
Oh my God. The explosion of brains yesterday was so fun to watch. God, he does this on purpose and they just don't even know.
Oh
They
my
don't know.
God.
He's a dictator. He thinks he's going to be king. He's never going to leave office. I mean, they just are hysterical. I love it. I'm so loving
And
this.
don't they know at this point, do they not understand how he
No.
trolls? They take him
Mm-mm.
so literally. And
They
I'm
do.
just like, you guys, he's playing with you. Do you
Yeah.
not see it?
No.
And then if in case they didn't, the White House themselves, like the official White House account, tweeted out this fake cover of Time magazine saying, long live the king.
It's just the greatest. It's so awesome at this point. They are losing their minds. They
Oh my
can't
God.
deal. Mhm. It's so
They
great.
cannot. New York's, I guess their like transportation department or whatever, one of their official New York Twitter accounts decided to push back. And of course they can't take it. They cannot deal with the fact that Trump is doing away with this congestion tax. And so they also tweeted out a statement from Kathy Hochul along with the caption, beep, beep, babes, we're taking you to court. Beep, beep, babes.
I love the way you read that. It's like, okay. I swear.
It's just so ridiculous.
I love that Kathy's like, we're a nation of laws, not ruled by a king. Okay. They're so hysterical.
Well, and because of all the traffic congestion, she was late to her own press conference, apparently. About this. And so once she finally made it, here is what she said about this entire hullabaloo.
At 1:01 p.m. today, the U.S. Department of Transportation emailed us a letter from Secretary Duffy announcing their attempt to end the congestion pricing program in the state of New York. At 1:58 p.m., President Donald Trump tweeted, "Long live the king." I'm here to say New York hasn't labored under a king in over 250 years. And we are not. We sure as hell are not going to start now.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm super tough. My city's a shithole.
The city where battles were fought. We stood up to a king, and we won then.
God, not with these people.
In case you don't know, New Yorkers, when we're in a fight, we do not back down. Not now, not ever.
We're never going to back down to ruin this city. It's a total shithole right now. We're not going to back down on being shitholery of shitholeness. Like, what
Imagine the crowd like cheering. Yay, we get to keep our tax.
This is liberals. This is what they're doing. It's how they feel about DOGE. Like, these people are mental.
Oh my
God, we're going to fight. We're going to fight to pay more and get bent over every day. We're going to fight.
These people, they are just ridiculous, you guys.
It's out of control. You cannot make this stuff up. You can't.
You really can't. So they are going to sue. The MTA chair and CEO, Janno Lieber, said today the MTA filed papers in federal court to ensure that the highly successful program, which has already dramatically reduced congestion, bringing reduced traffic and faster travel times, while increasing speeds for buses and emergency vehicles, will continue, notwithstanding this baseless effort to snatch those benefits away from the millions of mass transit users, pedestrians, and drivers.
What benefits? Oh
I know, right?
You're a victim. You are a victim. Fight the man. This is what she's doing.
God.
It's just nuts. My God.
And then, as if they hadn't already trolled enough, the White House official Twitter account released a video that basically said something like ASMR for illegal aliens.
Yes, it was ASMR. Which you guys, and so many people yesterday I saw talking about, there's like, this is just cruel. Why is it cruel?
Because they're showing like a flight of illegals heading off to, like, I don't know, Gitmo or wherever it is that they're taking all these illegals. And so people were like, oh, that's so mean. Oh my God.
And we get to hear it. We hear the shame. Okay. ASMR, you guys.
It's very relaxing, honestly.
Yeah. Bye. Whoever is running this account, the White House account.
Oh my God.
We got to be friends with them immediately. I mean, that again is some super awesome gold.
So great.
It was great.
And so there was another executive order last night, and Karoline Leavitt confirmed this, that he signed an executive order designed to terminate any and all federal taxpayer benefits going to illegal aliens. This means that every single federal agency and department has to identify all federally funded programs currently providing any benefits to illegal aliens and take corrective action. Now, this will absolutely be fought in court because, of course, it means that, like, illegal alien kids can't get an education. They can't get health care. They can't get all the things that they currently get. And so people are going to fight tooth and nail to undo this, but good for him for trying.
I can't believe that we need an executive order, though, to stop something that most of us would have never approved in the first place. We're the ones paying the bills.
Right.
And it's this stuff is not supposed to happen. So now he has to put forth an executive order to basically say, follow the laws. And oh, by the way, I was never consulted. Were you consulted about giving so much of our hard-earned money to people who break the law and come into this country and freeload? It's not okay. Like, ask us. I think there should be a class action lawsuit against all the people that gave them all this money, all these benefits, all of the things, while people in our country, while American citizens, American tax-paying citizens are living in tents, like in North Carolina. Veterans are homeless. I mean, ask me. Because I would have said no, and we wouldn't have needed it. We wouldn't have needed an executive order. It's just remarkable to me that that's what this has come to, is that he is having to do this to say, follow the laws that are already in the books. What the hell?
It's absolutely incredible.
Crazy.
Switching gears. Remember Lindy Li, that tiny little Asian chick who's like always on all the talk shows?
Yes.
She was a huge Democrat donor, super pro Kamala, go Kamala. And then all of a sudden, once Trump won, essentially, she's now changed her mind and is completely grifting off of this new, oh my God, Democrats were so shady during this whole process. Yeah. As if she weren't part of it. There's something very untrustworthy about her. And now people are starting to realize it. Piers Morgan had her on one of his shows, in a panel, and she was doing the whole spiel about how Democrats were, they were acting like fools. They haven't learned their lessons, all the stuff that sounds great right now, but from her doesn't sound great. Well, he uncovered an old tweet of hers because now she's trying to say that she did not vote for Kamala, and he's calling her out on that lie. He found an old tweet of her that said, Always a joy to be with the next president of the United States. We're just 32 days out from Election Day. I already voted for Kamala Harris in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
Philly said they received my ballot. What are y'all doing to elect our beloved VP Harris? Tell me in the comments. So that's 30 days before the election. She deleted it recently, but of course it lives on forever. And Pierce called her out and said, "Hi, Lindy Li. I'm confused. On Monday, you told me you didn't vote for Kamala in the 2024 election, but you posted this on your X account on October 3rd, though oddly, you have now deleted it overnight. What's going on?"
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what's going on. She's a freaking liar. Don't trust anything that she says. And like you say, she's grifting. Don't trust this chick.
You can't.
Clearly. What a hag. These people just have, and like she didn't think that somebody was going to find that tweet.
Well, she clearly was worried about it, right? Because that's why she deleted it overnight. Right. And here is how she's excusing it. This is it gets even more ridiculous and shady. So her response is, "Well, we were mid-campaign and I didn't want to hurt Harris by disclosing I didn't vote for her.
Oh my
God. The secret ballot is an American right. My attitude towards the Dems and their policies evolved over time. Their mismanagement and callous way they responded to my concerns solidified my exit."
No.
What a bunch of bull crap.
It is total bull crap. She's lying.
Give me a break.
She's totally lying. I didn't want to hurt Harris, so I put forth this awesome tweet, which I didn't have to put forth.
Right?
I didn't have to create it. You could have just kept your mouth shut, Lindy. Yeah. Liar.
I mean,
total liar.
Oh my gosh. Do not trust a word that comes out of that woman's face.
Yep.
And Chunk Yogurt also recognizing that Dems are in a world of hurt right now. He said yesterday, the New York Times had a story about Democratic donors fleeing the party. That explains why the Democratic leaders look like deer in the headlights. Since the donors are gone, there's no one left to give them orders. So they're like robots frozen in place, awaiting commands.
And he's still a Democrat? Like you basically just admitted that those people have no sense, no like intelligence of their own, and they just look to their Democrat masters to tell them what to do. You just said that out loud, and you're still a Democrat.
I know. It makes no sense.
And this is the thing. They put a candidate in there via a coup by a cabal. You know what I mean? It's like she wasn't put there democratically. And then these people, and they know it. They totally know it. And they're still digging their heels in being Democrats. That's astounding to me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess good for him for recognizing it, but like, what are you doing, Chunk?
He's still,
like,
it's never going to change.
Make the transition then.
He won't do it because he hates people like Dave Rubin who did that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Just a reminder real quick before we move on to other things, because man, do we have a lot to get to today. You should make sure that your data online, your private data is protected. And you can do that so easily with our friend and sponsor, Aura. Aura.com/chicks is a great website which offers you all these different tools to make sure that your data is protected from the evil doers in the dark web. You don't want your data in the wrong hands. And aura.com/chicks is a great way to find out immediately if it already is. And then they can help you retrieve it and get it out of the evildoers' hands. You can start a 14-day free trial right now. I mean, wait till after the show, obviously. But like after the show, you can start a free trial at aura.com/chicks. You can stay protected. There's all kinds of other services that they provide, password manager. They've got 24/7 US-based support. They've got financial fraud protection. They've got VPN. They've got a data broker opt-out. So many different services that a lot of people have multiple different apps and websites handling for them. You can do it all in one spot at aura.com/chicks. An interesting and unfortunate story from Harvard. And this was a big mess up by Republicans. So I'm sorry, not Harvard, NYU. So this gal that you see on the right of your screen was the president of NYU's College Republicans. And she did an interview. And she was asked about Barron Trump because Barron Trump is on that campus. And she was asked if he's participating in the college Republicans. And she said, no, actually, he's kind of an oddity on campus. He really keeps to himself. Nobody really sees him much. That is literally all she said. Yeah. And they forced her out They forced her to resign for having the gall to say that Barron Trump was an oddity on campus.
Well, it is an oddity. I mean, he has Secret Service around him. Of course he's going to be. That's odd. I mean, normal people don't live like that. So, but they want him to be in charge.
This is so stupid. And so the guy, what's his name? It's Will Donahue. So he is the CRA, the College Republican Association president. Will Donahue sent Barron, this invitation. We want you to represent our movement, and like we don't accept what's her name said. Like, they were so awful to her. And this is insane. This is like not supposed to be how Republicans act.
Right. I agree.
This is a very lefty way to cancel somebody. It was just like, what are you
100%,
doing?
100% agreement. Like, they shouldn't have done that. There's really nothing wrong with what she said. He is an oddity. No, most kids his age aren't walking around campus with Secret Service. I mean, it's odd. So
and you can say that. You shouldn't lose your position for saying that.
You shouldn't. And who's to say that he may just not be interested in doing this at all.
Exactly.
So it's
the
kind
whole
of
thing
weird.
was just so dumb.
It is weird how they're going about this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. We need to talk about this whole Delta flight, because now we're starting to learn. In fact, I think the tweet that I have in here is a little bit outdated, because initially we were starting to hear trickles that the flight crew on the plane was female. And so this raised the question again, is this like some DEI thing? Like, what's going on? But the Delta CEO said, and we now know that it was a female pilot. But he was like, safety is like our number one priority. This is what we train for. But people are asking a lot of questions, because now it's starting to be uncovered that she just got her flight license for this particular aircraft last month, which, everybody's got to get it at some point, right? Pilots are always new at some point in their career, but this is obviously an egregious mistake, depending on like how this investigation plays out. It really did look like that landing was not going right at all. So there's a lot of questions, particularly because Endeavor Air, which is a Delta subsidiary, they've got all these TikToks showing like how woman-centric they are. Like, it's a big deal to them to promote how female-centric they are. So there's a lot of questions being asked about this crew.
I just don't understand when, the color of somebody's skin or their lady parts trump being safe on airplanes. Again, wokeness is such a cancer, you guys. It really is.
It really is. And now, we've seen it. In fact, I think we played a couple of these clips yesterday where like some of the legacy media is trying to pin this on Trump somehow, even though it was landing in Toronto. It was a Toronto issue. But they'll never stop trying to blame Trump. And Gayle King had on the CEO of Delta, and her lead-in question was, well, I mean, Trump keeps laying off people at the FAA. Like, how much did this play a role? And she's looking at him like, right? Like, it's so Trump's fault.
She's trying to drive the narrative so hard here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
it did not go well for her at all.
The Trump administration recently fired many employees of the FAA administration. Do those cuts worry you? And do you think that impacts the safety? I know you just said it's the safest way to travel, but after looking at all these mishaps, a lot of people are very nervous. Do these cuts affect you?
The cuts do not affect us, Gayle. I've been in close communication with the Secretary of Transportation. I understand that the cuts at this time are something that are raising questions, but the reality is there's over 50,000 people that work at the FAA, and the cuts, I understand, were 300 people, and they were in non-critical safety functions. The Trump administration has committed to investing deeply in terms of improving the overall technologies that are used in the air traffic control systems and modernizing the skies. They've committed to hiring additional controllers and investigators and safety investigators. So no, I'm not concerned with that at all.
Narrative destroyed. She tried. God bless her.
She really, really had hoped for a different answer to that question.
Yeah, she really did.
So, question for you. Had you been on that flight, right, which would obviously be traumatizing, like to get off that aircraft and realize how close you were to serious danger. I mean, you were in danger, girl. Like, there's no question about it. What would your expectation be in terms of compensation, or like, would you sue? What would be your, like, how do you feel like you should get that made good?
Can I have some frequent flyer miles? No, I'm just kidding. No, you know what? I'm just not a litigious person. So it's hard for me to even say, like, is there a price on my possible life? I don't know. Stuff happens. I probably, if anything, I wouldn't be thinking about money. I'd be thinking about, my life. I'd be reassessing my entire life after that. To me, it would be more of a spiritual thing than it would be a monetary thing. That's just me. You're probably asking the wrong person. But if there was a class action lawsuit against Delta, I probably would be like, okay, I'm in. But it's just the fact that those people escaped death. They really did. I mean, it could have been a completely different scenario that we're talking about right now. I would be reassessing everything in my life.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, we know, what was it, like 21 people at least visited the hospital, briefly. Couple, I think, stayed overnight or whatever. Obviously, their medical care should be covered by the airline. Like, there's no question about that.
I hope so. Yeah.
But to your point, because like you, that was not what crossed my mind, and I don't think it would have. Like, I wouldn't immediately be like, what can I get from this airline?
Right. I wouldn't.
In response to, like, putting me through this trauma.
Going home and hugging my family, and just, I would be an absolute emotional wreck after that, and thanking God. And like I said, it'd just be more spiritual for me. But yeah, these people want money.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they do. And I don't know if they're going to sue and what that's going to look like. But I saw this, and that is that Delta is offering $30,000 to each passenger in that plane. And I thought, wow. So I saw a lot of people commenting, well, they're just doing that preemptively so that they don't have to pay out a bunch of money in a class action lawsuit.
Possible.
But, like, I don't think that this is an unreasonable amount. Is that just me? Like, am I just way undercutting?
It's not unreasonable, but I do believe that if they take them to court, they would get a hell of a lot more.
Would they though, or would the lawyers?
The lawyers. It's always the lawyers, Mock.
That's the thing.
But just like in theory, that each individual would probably get more than $30,000. It's sort of like a settlement. I feel like it's a preemptive settlement for Delta. Which, I mean, I don't know. I have not been in that position, so it's hard for me to say exactly what I would be thinking or doing. But I'd be $30,000. I'm fine. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I just would be so glad to be alive.
Yeah, that's the thing. To me, I was just like, that seems fine. I don't know.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It is, but I do feel like there's probably going to be somebody on the plane, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there are going to be people on the plane that want more.
Oh, without question. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know how I would feel if I had actually gone through that trauma, but I saw this and I just thought it was an interesting question.
Right.
Remember how a couple weeks ago we talked about how Biden is now signed with a talent agent? So he's now with CAA, which is what is it called? Creative Artists Agency. Kamala has now also signed with the Hollywood Talent Agency. So they apparently have released a statement saying that they're going to work closely with her on her post-White House initiatives, whatever that means.
They're going to give her acting lessons. That's what
maybe they'll teach her to stop going like this when she's trying to be profound.
Saying unburdened every 2 seconds. Maybe they can do that. They can coach you on that, right?
Also, in terrible, terrible news for Democrats, their polling is absolutely sucktastic right now. 68% of Americans disapprove of the job that Democrats are doing in Congress. Only 22% approve. This is a Quinnipiac poll. And congressional Republican approval is sitting at 40% approve compared to 52% disapprove. So it's not good on either side.
It isn't.
Man, is it terrible for Democrats.
It's pretty terrible for them. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to get any better because they keep digging their heels in and doing the same crap and expecting a different result. That is insane.
Right?
Yeah. This is what,
this is what literal definition.
Yeah. This is what, and they just won't stop, with the David Hoggs and all these other people. And we got to concentrate on pronouns, and lady parts and all this other, and color of people's skin before, everything else. Which that's why Trump was elected. They do not get it. They just don't. And okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep doing it. I mean,
Whatever.
if that's your jam, you just
Yep.
keep right on doing it.
Mhm.
The nerdy guy, Harry Enton on CNN, also had another new interesting data point, which I thought was fantastic news for Republicans. Here he is to explain.
Donald Trump and the Republican Party has changed the electorate. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at party identification, Democrats versus Republicans. You go back to 2017, 5 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. You go to 2021 when Joe Biden was starting out, look at that. 6 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. But look at what's happened in February of 2025. Look at this. Republicans, there are more Republicans in the electorate than there are Democrats. Republican +2. So Donald Trump and the Republicans have remade the electorate. They've turned some people over from being Democrats or independents to become Republicans. New folks have entered the electorate who are more Republican leaning. And so when you combine that with the fact that Republicans are really, really behind Donald Trump, all of a sudden you get a winning recipe whereby you break the normal rules of politics and give Donald Trump that positive net approval rating when he had pretty much a consistently negative one in term number one. As I said at the beginning, he's copying Frank Sinatra, doing it my way.
That's what. But I mean, part of that is because Democrats are protesting by singing and dancing. They're protesting theft and fraud of our government against them. They're protesting it by singing, and you're crazy. You guys are
Totally
mental.
crazy.
And so more people are going to look at that and go, I don't want to be associated with these crazy people.
Did you say?
No.
Did you see her mad face? Like
Oh,
whoever
she was
that was.
pissed. She was
She was so
pissed.
mad.
Yeah, the truth hurts, lady.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, you're aligning yourself with crazy people. Why are you doing that?
It makes no sense. And it doesn't matter. They'll see these stats, they'll hear about the polls, and they'll be like, we need to continue to fight and resist. Or
DEI
whatever.
is
God.
the way to, just they will dig their heels in. Okay.
You may have heard yesterday that because of all the savings that DOGE is uncovering, and the amount of money that they're saving for the American people, there's been somebody posited to Elon Musk on Twitter saying, hey, maybe there should be like a refund to the American citizens. Like, you guys are saving all this money. How about returning it to the rightful owners, which is the American taxpayers? And so Elon was like, I'm going to ask the president about it. And of course he did. And so President Trump was speaking to a group yesterday where he talked about the DOGE dividend.
Under consideration, a new concept where we give 20% of the DOGE savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions. And we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt.
This is okay. I think this is a nice idea, but how about you just cut my taxes to begin with?
How about you just pay the debt? Like, I don't want, I'm not trying to like poo-poo money, but please, we are broke.
Right.
Like, pay the debt off, please.
Yeah, because it makes me a little nervous when they start giving money. Listen, I know that sounds weird. When they start giving money back, it's kind of like the COVID checks. You know, people get used to that. You give it to them once and they're going to want it again. And then what position are we in? Like, y'all need to just get the debt paid off, kind of like what you said, pay off. Because you wouldn't do that in a personal budget situation. You would just be concentrated specifically and like wholeheartedly on the debt that you have as a family that has that kind of debt. I mean, if you can imagine, because I'm not that much of a dumbass. I mean, I'm not perfect with money, but oh my gosh, so I wish they would do that. And then, maybe in a year or two, start giving us tax cuts or talking about flat tax or whatever. I think that would be, that's the discussion I want to have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no point in making, like, the whole point of doing this exercise was to reduce the debt. And so just focus on that. We don't need checks right now. Okay.
I totally agree. I just
think that's
get our taxes less, and then we will all have more money in our pockets. Pay down the debt, and then do like some sort of a flat tax. And then let's do that.
Yes. Howard Lutnick, who is the new Commerce Secretary, was on with Jesse Waters last night talking about Trump's ultimate goal when it comes to DOGE, when it comes to tariffs, when it comes to this whole thing. And apparently the ultimate goal is to do away entirely with the IRS. Here's Howard Lutnick to explain.
You watch it. We're going to do it.
If you get savings from these DOGE cuts, are you going to give any of this back to the American people? We keep hearing about these DOGE dividends.
Well, think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue Service, and his goal is very simple. His goal is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service and let all the outsiders pay. I mean, this is someone who is focused on America. Let's drive down our waste, fraud, and abuse. I'll give you an example. Cruise ships. You ever see a cruise ship with an American flag on the back? They have flags of like Liberia or Panama. None of them pay taxes. None of them pay taxes. Every super tanker, none pays taxes. Alcohol, all foreign alcohol, no taxes. This is going to end under Donald Trump, and those taxes are going to be paid, and Americans' tax rates are going to come down. That's what Donald Trump wants to do. Balance our budget and cut our taxes. I mean, imagine a Democratic senator going against that. What planet are these people?
Yeah, exactly. I know. I like that guy. He's very straightforward. And I love the ticker that said Washington is a fraud buffet. It is.
Yeah, that's right.
So true. Yeah. And like we said, I don't really care about, I just want them to pay down the debt. And then I want to see that in my taxes, what I pay in taxes in the next couple of years, because man, it is out of control what people are charged for taxes. We are frogs in the boiling water. It's like people just have let this happen for eons, and it's unacceptable what we're charged in taxes.
It is. It's absolutely crazy.
Theft.
I don't know where this idea came from, that there needs to be an investigation into Fort Knox to make sure that it actually has the gold there. But this became a thing that was being talked about on Twitter yesterday, and Trump had a press gaggle on his flight that he was talking to them about it. He's talking about live streaming a whole entrance into Fort Knox. Here he is talking about it.
Knox, to make sure the gold is there.
Are they going to?
You know that we're going to go into Fort Knox. Do you know about that? That was that bad bump.
Are they going to eliminate more national security positions, civilians there?
We'll see what happens. But one of the things we do want to look, I mean, we hope everything's fine with Fort Knox, but we're going to go to Fort Knox, the fabled Fort Knox, to make sure the gold is there.
Where would the gold have gone? Brought up.
If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
I got to tell you, like, can you imagine Biden doing that on Air Force One? Just like talking
Oh
to
my
press?
God. No way.
You know, that was like his refuge when he got on. He could just sleep and eat ice cream and then, poop his diapers while he was on Air Force One. And then here's Trump. Like, let me talk to the press now again and again and again. He's like the most transparent president we've ever had in history. Hands down.
Oh my God. The amount that he talks to the press and to us is extraordinary. Extraordinary. It's almost too much. Like I was telling you before the show, I was like, I really wish he would stop doing things after 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, can you just make all the news during the day
and
stop making so much news at night?
There is, because he just doesn't stop. I mean, that's one of the things he said about Elon in that interview with Hannity, is that he said he gets a lot of energy. I think that he really appreciates and he values people who do have a lot of energy, which is why we will never be in his cabinet.
Right.
I'm tired at 5 o'clock at night. Okay. Yeah. But he's not tired. The man is a freaking machine. And the people who are surrounding him are also machines. And that's awesome. It's a really neat thing to see, but man, they have a lot of energy. Where did they get their energy?
Another neat thing to see is what's happening to some of the folks that work in these government agencies that really do want to do the right thing. And this was an incredible story. So the Daily Wire posted that there was a guy named Leland Dudek who was almost fired because he wanted to work with DOGE. He wanted to explain, here is how things are working at the Social Security Administration. And then because his boss put him on leave for wanting to help DOGE, he spoke out about it, and within hours, that boss got fired, and he was promoted to lead the entire agency.
So great. You know,
isn't that amazing?
It is amazing, and it's wonderful to see that somebody who's doing the right thing is valued and appreciated and rewarded for it. Like, go figure. Because in the past, however many years, you know, there's so many of these people. We will dog federal workers right now for not doing their jobs, but there are also really good people in a lot of these positions that want to do the right thing, but they probably felt stifled, or they felt like they were going to get fired, you know, or somehow like reprimanded for it. And so that's not okay. It's just not. And so I'm glad to see this happening.
This is the greatest story. I just love this so much. And now we're 4 weeks in, right? To the Trump presidency. We're 4 weeks in.
4 weeks. Yeah.
And so Rand Paul has decided to jump onto the Trump train. And so you may remember he didn't endorse him ahead of the election, but now he has. He says he resisted an enthusiastic endorsement of Donald Trump, but now he says, quote, "I'm amazed by the Trump cabinet, many of whom I would have picked. I love his message to the Ukrainian warmongers, and along with his DOGE initiative shows I was wrong to withhold my endorsement. So today, admittedly a little tardy, I give Donald Trump my enthusiastic endorsement."
I think he said at the end of that there was a little bit more to it, where he's like, "I'm not going to fawn, but I'm paraphrasing, of course. I'm not going to fawn all over this, but I'm super appreciative of everything that he's done, and I give him my endorsement." Yeah, so this is great. He should have done it before, but it's great, and it's
this is cool.
And I imagine a lot of it is like, it's so much of it is in line with his the thing he puts out, the Festivus report he puts out every single year, with how they just waste money. He's like the one senator that has given a crap about that for us over the past however many years he's been in office. So now he's like, it's coming to fruition.
Yeah,
somebody's
it's
doing
happening.
something about it, right?
Okay, this next story was one that you sent, and I know you know that I love me some musicals, and I love Broadway. I love all of it. I have never seen Jesus Christ Superstar, never seen it. And so when you sent me this, like, I have no idea how to feel about it. But that chick from Wicked, Cynthia Erivo, is set to play Jesus Christ in Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl this summer. I don't know what to make of this because I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about the show.
Did Disney do this?
I have no idea
what
to make of this.
That was a joke. Because it's like, okay, so we're going to get a Black woman to play Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ Superstar.
Like, is the show itself problematic to Christians? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. So
you mean the actual like theme of the show, the plot of the show? I don't know. I've never seen it either because, I don't really like musicals. I'm not a big fan. But I do feel like the casting is a little weird. It's a little weird.
It seems kind of odd.
Jesus wasn't a Black woman. I mean, we can all kind of agree on that. I'm pretty sure that Jesus wasn't a Black woman.
That seems like mostly an agreed upon thing.
But it's not going to be, because people are going to be like, of course she's going to play this, Okay.
It's just bizarre. By the way, have you seen like those pictures of her little BFF, Ariana Grande? Like,
she's anorexic.
So anorexic.
So she needs food.
Oh,
where is her mother? She needs food.
Oh my God, she does not look well. All right, moving on. Again, such a mishmashy show today because there's so many just different little topics that we want to get to. I know you guys like it though. I feel like our entire audience has a little bit of ADHD.
Yeah, just a little bit.
They like things moving along.
Keep it going, chicks.
Keep it going. So in keeping with this White House's theme of involving or including lots and lots of different kinds of media outlets, Karoline Leavitt talked about Media Row yesterday in a hilarious video. And I say it's hilarious because there's this moment right at the beginning where she steps one foot in front of the other and she ends up looking like she only has one leg for the entire duration of this video. And I just think it's funny. Here it is.
Hey everybody, today at the White House, we are hosting Local Media Row. We have local television and radio stations from across the country who have ascended upon Washington to hear directly from White House and administration officials. We have cabinet members here today. This is another example of the most transparent and accessible White House in history, thanks to President Trump.
That's awesome.
She's so cute. I love her.
I wish we could have been there. I would have loved to be on Media Row and to meet the one-legged Karoline Leavitt.
Didn't it look so one-legged?
Like a flamingo standing there. Just put her in pink. It would fit in.
Also, if you guys are looking for an update on when Kash Patel will be confirmed, I have it for you.
We got 30
right here.
seconds left. We need an FBI director in this country. Kash Patel, he just got moved forward. When does this happen?
We'll vote on him on Thursday, and all the tricks that the Democrats have been playing, they're going to have to start calling Kash Patel Director Patel by Thursday evening. He'll be sworn in, and he'll be able to go in there and reform the FBI and get it working on mission focus and not for a Democrat party.
God, so great.
God,
make it happen.
Finally.
And then release the files. Release them all. Cannot wait. It's today, you guys. It's today.
It's today. Yeah, it's going to be great. Also, I know we talked about this earlier this week. I think that we were surprised actually to see that Judge Chutkin decided to allow DOGE to continue its work. She blew that case raised by 14 attorneys general across the country who were trying to stop DOGE in its tracks. And she was like, I don't really think that there's a way that I can agree with that. So she's allowed the work to continue. And Scott Jennings is reporting about it. Here he is.
First of all, it's a good decision. It's amazing to me that Donald Trump has to go to court to fight off attempts to keep the duly elected president and his appointees from having access to the federal government. I mean, this is, after all, the people that we elected to run the country, and they have to go into court and fight to run the country. I mean, it sounds crazy. So I think it was the only decision she could make, because it's patently ridiculous when Democrat attorneys general go to partisan judges, or any judges for that matter, and try to stop the duly elected government from operating. That's number one. Number two, this effort is nothing more than an attempt to control the federal bureaucracy and restore some political oversight to the federal government. That is all they are trying to do. So ultimately, I think people are happy with it, and I think they're finding some things that need to be uncovered. And the more that they're transparent about that, and the more they put that information out to the American people, the more popular it's going to become.
There's more.
Other decision than the one that she made. He's the president. These are his appointees going into the federal agencies that they were elected to run. So what does it matter what he said as a matter of a political statement before, as long as the result here is they get to run the federal government just like the people asked for?
Right. And I'm wondering if that chick in the pink does anything. Does she do anything?
She's Maisie when it comes to facial expressions.
Yeah, she's emotionless. So she just sits there and takes the truth. Like, I don't really want to hear this. Like, I don't know what is her role? Is she, because she's not said
she's
anything.
mad.
We played a couple clips now that she's been in with her pink coat and her shoulder pads. And I'm just wondering what it is that she does.
She's mad, you guys. She's mad. She doesn't like having to talk to anybody that doesn't think like she does.
She identifies as a linebacker though, with the shoulder pads.
You guys, RFK Jr., who of course now is Secretary of HHS, he decided to bring the entire organization to hear him speak and to meet everybody in the organization. And I think he got a very nice welcome, it looks like, anyway, from this video. He addressed the entire agency, and here's how it went.
F. Kennedy Jr. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I'm President Trump's Secretary of HHS. My main mission at HHS, in which I hope that you will all join me, is to reverse the chronic disease epidemic in America.
What a great
I did
mission.
a welcoming speech and introduced myself to all the personnel at HHS and invited them into the endeavor of making America healthy again.
That's
I
so
was
cool.
really bowled over by the enthusiasm that I got. I got to meet most of the people here, at least briefly. We all took photos together. We took selfies. One after the other, people came up to me and said, I've been waiting for this for my whole career, for 20 years. We want to
God bless
unleash
them.
science. We want to do really good, unimpeded science. And that was very, very gratifying to me.
Yeah. I mean, you guys could disagree with me, but I think all this is God, the way that he's been put in that position, and people are, responding really well to him. Of course, that's what they should want to do. They should want to make sure that we are the healthiest nation in the world. Why would they not want to be on board with that? What a wonderful thing, and God bless him for doing that, for getting out there and meeting everybody and being like, okay, let's re-energize you and get excited about this mission. Can you imagine working for him? Be great. Be great.
I love that people were like, we want to unleash good science.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody should want that. That was
Totally.
just awesome. Absolutely awesome. And speaking of awesome Kennedys, Senator Kennedy, we have the best montage of some of his greatest hits, you guys. And he is just such a freaking delight.
He's a treasure.
Behold.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Look, we just need to stay calm. We need to stay calm as a Hindu cow and just go about our work and get our bills passed and let the Democrats be the Democrats. And so far, it's working. You never interfere with your opponent when he's kicking his own ass.
I swear, this man never misses, and he certainly has a way with words. Here he is, Senator John Kennedy.
Sometimes I say things that I shouldn't, but as I've told you before, God made me, and God gave me the right to remain silent, but not the ability. I've got a lot of friends who are Democrats, and they haven't asked me for advice, but if I did, I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck. I mean... Think about it. Over the past 4 years, the Democrats mismanaged Congress, they mismanaged COVID, they mismanaged the economy, they mismanaged inflation, they mismanaged the national debt, they mismanaged Afghanistan. They cry if you use the wrong pronoun. And most fair-minded Americans look at this and they go, these people are about 10 exits past normal.
Freaking love him. Protect him at all costs. I love him. As safe as a Hindu cow. So the greatest. I love him.
He is the best, the absolute best. Patrick Bet David was shown an old commercial that Donald Trump was in, and I'd never seen this before.
I love this.
This was so fun to watch, and if you guys haven't seen it, this is a treat.
The greatest.
Gentle, Donald. Slowly. Okay. That's good.
How much you want for your pot? 500. 600.
Introducing Cozone.com, the place to find computer help and buy what's right for you.
Hey.
Hey yourself.
Cozone.com. We can help.
My favorite.
Hey yourself.
Hey yourself.
Man, this guy's been funny for a long time.
Right? That's my favorite with the chick. He's like, how you doing?
How you doing?
How
That was
you
good stuff.
doing?
Really good stuff. All right. Are we doing good on time? Yeah. This is the rest of the show is going to be like kind of juicy and like gossipy a little
and
bit.
more, but mishmashery juice.
Oh,
We
total
the
mishmashery.
We love the mishmash juice. Yes, bring it.
But before we get to the juicy stuff, we have to show you some ridiculous liberals because there's a lot of ridiculous liberals to get to. Do you remember how Norm Eisen and Jennifer Rubin are now doing that weird, whatever it is that they're doing?
Are they like acting like lavas on SNL? the professor lovers. You guys know what I'm talking about? That skit where
They're
Will Ferrell
weird.
chick. That's who they are. They're basically that SNL skit. Ridiculous.
Well, and he apparently is the lead on a lot of these legal battles that are being that are starting against Trump and DOGE and all of that. And now it turns out that there might be a conflict of interest because his daughter, Norm Eisen, is the architect of several lawsuits against DOGE's work. His daughter worked for a nonprofit that has gotten millions from USAID. So don't you feel like that's conflicty?
Yes, Mock. The answer is yes. It's very conflicty. I feel like a lot of these people who are screaming to protect the theft and the corruption, they're very conflicty.
So conflicty.
Just look for the conflict. Look for it.
And it's not hard to find. It just pops up just like that over and over and over again. So that was interesting. And then Jennifer Rubin was on with George Conway. Like they were on a stage together in front of people who wanted to hear them. I don't get that at all. But in any case, we were talking earlier about how Democrats have not learned a damn thing from this election and they keep doubling down on all the things that made them lose.
Right.
And this is a perfect example. Jennifer Rubin is trying to suggest that MAGA people don't know how to read. She thinks this is the kind of thing that's going to go over well with people. Here she is.
Why would ABC, Disney, the mouse, who has more money than God, settle with Donald Trump?
I honestly don't know.
You know, I've asked, why would ABC? But people ask me all the time, why is the media so mamsy-pamsy? And there are two explanations. One is they are convinced that if they would just move a little bit to the right, all those MAGA readers out there, now you'll notice the contradiction in terms, MAGA readers, would pick up the Washington Post and they would have more readers. What is the logical fallacy here? Yes, reader. And there is nothing that the Washington Post could possibly do that would have those people take out a subscription. But they're convinced they're in there someplace.
The mayor says,
way to Tom Hanks it, right, lady? That's
right?
exactly what she's doing. She's Tom Hanksing it, not a good plan. And every single person in the audience that's listening to them is a freaking liberal. And then those
who else would go to that?
Yeah,
oh
my God, it's dreadful. I'd rather get a root canal and a pap smear at the same time than go see those two talk. Honestly, who is in the audience? Well, we know it's liberals because that's what they are. And they try to pretend that they're still somehow a Republican. No, you're not. You're not at all. And I keep doing this, keep calling people stupid, because that's one thing that Trump gets. He knows that we are a smart electorate. We are an electorate with common sense. We're the ones paying the bills. You better show us some respect. And that's exactly like what these people do not understand. And they will keep losing.
I know. And that's why I just, you go, you guys, just keep on keeping on.
Right.
Mayor Bass, who you may know from such things as fleeing the country in the midst of her city being burned to the ground. She is now being asked, in light of the California fires, the LA fires, was it a good idea for you to be taking trips to Africa while all that was happening? And she is trying to blame this on other people not telling her how bad the fires might be.
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe this. There were like 1 million tweets from her own account warning people about the potential wrath of these fires as she was fleeing town. And now she's like, I just didn't know. And so we're going to investigate. We're going to investigate somebody for not telling me. That's what she's doing. I couldn't believe it, but here it is.
If Kristen Crowley did not call her to warn her in advance of the trip and didn't do the, quote, normal preparations for this kind of wind event.
That type of preparation didn't happen. If that had, I will tell you, Alex, I wouldn't have even gone to San Diego, let alone leave the country.
But what do you mean there were warnings you weren't aware of? Because I know we were talking about it on the news. A lot of people were talking about the problems, warning that this was going to be a huge
So
thing.
it didn't reach that level to me to say something terrible could happen and maybe you shouldn't have gone on the trip.
Why didn't it
But to
happen?
me, I don't know. I mean, I think that that's one of the things we need to look at.
She's a dumbass. She's a complete dumbass, and she won't take any accountability. So, I mean, it's clear that's what this is. Just call it what it is. She's completely inept, can't do her job, and she's trying to pass the buck on to somebody else. What a shameful thing to do.
It makes her look way worse than she already does, if that's even possible. Like, that's just the dumbest strategy.
Fires are dangerous? I didn't know. I'm like, okay.
Somebody didn't tell me. I mean, what in
Somebody
the world?
should be fired. That's somebody, not me, but that other somebody who needed to tell me that fire is hot and it destroys things. The hell, lady? My God.
I know. Ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, as you know, Jim Acosta, no longer with CNN, he went out on his own and started his own like Substack or something. And so he's having guests on that. And he's also being a guest inexplicably on other people's shows. And on one show, I don't even know whose show this is, but he decided to go on and rip on Karoline Leavitt.
My favorite. Okay. This is my absolute favorite.
It's hard to see somebody out Spicer Sean Spicer or out Sarah Huckabee Sanders, but Karoline Leavitt, she's making a run for it. She just might get on Trump's all-star team of liars. She might be on the bench right now, but if she keeps working hard, she does her homework, she just might make it onto the team.
Oh my God.
What a dick. He should actually. He's a dick. You should be thanking us, Jim Acosta, for playing that clip on our show, because I assure you, it got more views than it did just having people watch it here than it did the first time of you spewing that garbage out of your face. What a complete jerk! Way to belittle her.
Yeah, and call her a liar. Like, are you kidding me? After KJP, you're gonna call Karoline Leavitt a liar?
Yeah, and Sean Spicer's like, "What did I do?" You know what I mean? Like these, give me a break. She's so, just so good at her job.
There's so good at it.
She's the best one we've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's just no question. She's the best one. I thought Kayleigh McEnany was great. she's even better.
Mhm.
I didn't think that could happen, but it did. And he is so threatened by her. I'm going to seriously, I'll pull the liberal crap of what they always say, but he's threatened by a successful 27-year-old woman because he's never going to have one of those in his life that loves him.
I have to answer this question only because I'm so proud of it. So somebody likes this top and asked where I got it. You want to know where I got it? Cracker Barrel.
I love that.
That's where this is from, you guys. If you want, I love clothes from Cracker Barrel because I'm a million years old. And so that's where this is from. Thank you for noticing my Cracker Barrel shirt.
Yes.
Okay, Jasmine Crockett. You guys, you may remember that we were blocked by her personal account, which gives me enormous pride.
Badge of honor. Love it. Congratulations, Mom.
She's another one of these ridiculous Democrats who thinks that a good strategy is to keep calling the other side stupid. And so she's insisting that the reason that Trump's approval ratings right now are so high is because we just aren't educated enough. I just can't believe that this is the angle, but it is. They keep going with it. Here she is.
A 53% approval rating. It's higher than it's ever been. 70% believe that he's fulfilling his promises, and 45% believe Democrats should be more moderate. What do you take away? I think there's a lot to make of those numbers, but what's your takeaway from that?
My takeaway is just like the election. We've got to do better at education. People don't understand.
We're so dumb.
But you will understand when those hospitals in rural America start closing down even more. You will understand when you don't have your Social Security. You will understand when your Medicaid, your Medicare goes away. You will understand as planes continue to fall out of the sky. Soon you will understand why it's important to maybe have somebody that isn't loud and ridiculous, and maybe Sleepy Joe is what we wanted because we could at least sleep at night.
Maybe have someone that isn't loud and ridiculous. Hey, Pot, meet Kettle.
Hi.
What's okay? Because she's not loud and ridiculous. Okay.
Wow.
People we just don't understand. We don't understand, you guys. We're just dumb. Kind of like what Jennifer Rubin said. We're all just dumb. We don't know how to read, and we're all stupid. Yeah, double and triple and quadruple down on that narrative, and we'll see how far that gets you, Jasmine.
Gosh, she's awful. She's awful
and elitist.
Awful.
They're all such elitist jerks on the left. They think they are so much smarter, and they want to tell you how to live your life. Thank you, but no.
Yep. You guys, it's going to be a long show. I'm just now realizing it's going to be a long show. So just buckle in because it's going to get fun here. I mean, not that it's not already fun. Like, we're having fun, right?
We're always having fun.
This is super fun, but it's going to get even funner. And we still have more to get to in this segment, like more stupid people. Case in point. Remember Jane Fonda? She's back to tell you how much blood is coming out of her heart about USAID, you guys. Here she is.
Amen, child. The world's richest man is cutting aid to the world's most vulnerable. The shutdown of USAID is keeping food from hungry kids trapped in war zones and taking business from the American farmers who supply it in the process.
I'm gonna need some receipts for that. And also, she said, what was it? A couple years ago, she said COVID is God's gift to the left. Remember when she said that? Remember? I mean, there's a lot of things I won't forgive her for. That's one of them too. I mean, she's just, and I know that we've always said that her plastic surgery has been great, but that was not a good, did you see that?
The closer you get, the worse it is.
She's a Monet. She is a Monet. Right? You get up, it's a big hot mess when you get up close. She is. It's true, you guys.
That's a good way to, that's a good way to,
She's a Monet.
So I know that we've talked about all the banger songs that are coming out of the left protesters. Like they've been amazing. But as Daisy mentioned earlier, there is also interpretive dance.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing like protesting the new leadership at the Kennedy Center than this.
some random kid. They were like, we'll give you $20 if you just like, and he's like, what am I doing here? Yeah. It's all theater majors. Yes. GCQC, all theater majors.
I mean, I think that's going to work. Whatever they're protesting, it's definitely going to make a difference.
Right. Because nothing says combating the man like jazz hands.
Right. And, you know, these are the dumb people. I know that Jasmine and like Jennifer Rubin are all like, MAGA can't read. But let's face it. These people, not all together there, because when you actually ask them to talk to you about what they're protesting, that's when the truth really comes out. Case in point.
And I'm marching for our democracy.
Yeah. So what has Donald Trump done that threatens democracy, you think?
Everything. I mean, he's going against the LGBTQ plus community, which is what I'm a part of. He's going against my immigrant neighbors. He's going against the other teachers and like our safety in the schools, everything.
So tell me what rights you think have been threatened.
My rights to do this, my voting rights, my rights to protect the people as a teacher. Like if ICE comes into my school, I'm not giving my kids up. I think our rights to have a full democracy is being.
So you're a teacher?
I'm a teacher. Yep.
God help us.
You said your rights to do this, right to protest?
Yeah. Right.
Has that been threatened?
Speech, freedom of speech. He's trying to go after the First Amendment, and that's just not it. That's just not it.
How so? How did he go after the First Amendment?
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of Project 2025. He doesn't want us to be able to do things like this. And
you remember he was kicked off social media platforms. Don't you think he has sympathy towards being banned?
No. I don't think he has sympathy for anything. Yeah, I don't think he has sympathy. I think he's a psychopath. I think he doesn't have sympathy for anybody.
Donald Trump's a psychopath.
So, yeah, I really do think so.
Okay. Yeah. Off of their heads. Okay. So like this is a teacher a teacher who's molding young minds and doesn't know that we live in a constitutional republic as opposed to a democracy. It's not a democracy, lady. And then also she claims that she's like having all these rights oppressed, but you're freely protesting in the United
Right. Like, he's like threatening my right to protest. She says at a protest.
Yeah, exactly. Like you cannot make this stuff up. I cannot believe that she teaches anybody anything.
I know, that's so scary.
Mm-hmm.
So scary.
Yep.
And also, there continue to be a lot of videos being made by psychopaths who are not outright saying the words that they would like to end the life of our president, but they are absolutely inciting other people to do just that. And then also promising rewards for anybody who attempts it, like this batshit crazy chick right here.
Yes, please.
For the person out there who's planning on doing it, you know, the thing that we all wake up every day hoping we'll see in the news, and we're like, man, no one's done it yet.
No, I'm not a psycho.
Keep going. Your plan, it's going to work. If not, it'll inspire the next person. And we are all rooting for you. You have our support. You have our admiration. We might make a national holiday out of you. And I will definitely put money on your books. And if you're into this sort of thing, I'll write you some letters.
She needs
of the naughty sort, should you find yourself behind bars for it. But we're all rooting for you and hoping that you do it quickly and get away with it. Power to the people.
God, what an effing sociopath she is. The Secret Service used to check people like this out. I hope that they're doing it again now that we're...
Every time I saw that, everybody had tagged the FBI in it.
Good.
So I think she'll
her
be checked
house.
into.
Go to her freaking house. How dare she? What an absolute sociopath she is.
And there's so many like that.
I hated Biden. I don't like him as a president. And I didn't like Kamala either. But at no time did I ever want those people to be harmed.
Right.
Like these people are lunatics.
They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. Without question. But they do put out some bangers, you guys. They really do. So yesterday was the queer body one, which I was like rocking out to.
That was a good
one. But hello.
Energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy.
Yeah. God. Good Good for that.
I
Burning some
mean, come
calories
on.
up on stage. Good for that.
That's
thing,
good stuff
that-
right there, you
That
guys.
person, that individual. That's great. It's not cringe at all. It's not.
No, it's totally normal behavior.
Mm-mm.
All right, let's move on to our segment, which is going to be all kinds of different angles about sex and power.
Oh.
Lots of stories about sex and power.
Okay.
And we're going to kick it off. For those of you, I know there's a lot of people out there that do not give one speck of a crap about the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds saga. But this is a very interesting analysis by Batya Ungar Sargon about how this story itself may be what finally puts the nail in the coffin of the Me Too movement. And I really liked her analysis. She apparently wrote a whole piece about this. And here she is to explain right here.
So you see the man bun there in full display on your screen. Justin Baldoni literally wrote the book on beta maledom. He wrote a book called Undefining My Masculinity or something like that. He wrote another children's book called Boys Will Be Humans. You know, his whole public persona as a celebrity was an ally of women, and this ended up being a key to his downfall here when Blake Lively, sensing his weakness, started to bully him on the set of his own film, demanding the right to rewrite scenes, demanding the right to have her own edit of the film. And then finally, when she was hit with a ton of negative press when the film came out for the way she was handling herself and some old clips in which she was fat shaming a reporter, she then argued that he had, you know, sexually harassed her in an attempt to launder her image by becoming the victim. She cast herself as the victim of a Me Too scandal and cast him as the aggressor. Unfortunately, a more beta male you couldn't have found. I mean, he had all of the receipts showing that in every interaction, she had had the power and he hadn't. And what I argue in the Free Press piece is that basically this is not just the end of the Me Too movement, but it's the end of this kind of man bun ally feminism, because what we really see here, Rita, is that the problem with the Me Too movement, the problem with Believe All Women, is that the relationship between sexuality and power is very, very complicated. It cannot be reduced to just who is the woman and who is the man. And in this case, the man was the one being bullied, the woman being the one bullying him. And when that was revealed, she claimed the victim status and it fell on its face.
It sure has. Yep.
I love that analysis. It was so good.
I don't know if it's going to make man buns go away, though. And I don't know if like the soy boys are actually going to go away just yet. I mean, it would be nice if that were the case, but I feel like there's going to be some that hang around, you know?
Yeah, but
it was great.
It's definitely taken a beating, you know, which is a good thing.
Yeah. And I think Blake Lively, she's a mean girl. She's just a mean girl.
Totally. I'm so team Justin on this.
Me too. I totally am too. And I think, and I don't even like, I don't want to be on the side of a guy with a man bun, you guys. It pains me.
I know.
But that's the thing. I'm forced to do that because she is awful.
I told you this whole segment is going to be juicy, and it is. Lots of different stories. And one in particular that we talked about, I guess, last week when it broke is this whole Ashley St. Clair being the new baby mama to Elon's 13th child. And we showed you how many of the popular conservative influencers were falling all over themselves to congratulate her, to say how great this was, to be full on, yay, you, Ashley, go girl.
Right.
And you and I were like,
no, it's like, it's really ew. It's like the second time she's done it. I feel like she's a bit of a gold digger, and that is what it is.
Right. And there were so many questions about her methodology of coming forward. Anyway, it was just all just a weird thing. And so we were very, very happy to find that one of our girl crushes, Megyn Kelly, seemed to have the same view of this situation as we did. And she was even more forthcoming.
She says the things, and I love her for that. I do.
Yes. Here she is with her take on that situation.
Using Elon of impregnating her and not, I guess, negotiating with her on the care of the child, or at least not to the point where she's happy with the negotiation. She's upset about the privacy, that the tabloid's coming, And the next day, after the tweet hits, she poses for a full spread in the New York Post in like her sexy wear, the pictures of her. Yeah, like she's wearing a corset. And this is her in this like swanky New York apartment, which is described as like lavish. Here she is with the floor to ceiling windows and the great views. And I all I can think as I look at this is your life is the way it is because you decided it would be.
Right.
Because of your choices, madam. Like you set it up this way. I posted on Twitter, you can have a swanky New York apartment. You could earn money and actually wind up renting one yourself. You could also find a man who wants to marry you and raise children with you and who won't have other women in his life at the same time. All of this is available to you. Not just her, but any woman. You do not have to make a choice where you try to bang the billionaire to get his baby so that he'll put you up in some lavish New York City apartment and take care of you for the rest of his life and then be shocked when he doesn't actually want to have a relationship with you. And the only way you can maybe get him to respond to you is via tweet. I'm sorry, but again, you made choices. They were very bad ones. And these are the consequences of that.
Yep. Yeah, you can do that.
Damn.
You can earn money on your own. You know, you can actually do that. You don't have to. It's kind of grifty. And it's grifty.
Yeah. It's real grifty.
Yep.
So I want you to play a part here in reading the part of George Santos. You guys remember George Santos? George Santos was a Republican congressman who like filled his face with Botox, lied about almost everything, including his background. He defrauded people out of money. He's just kind of an awful, awful person. And he is apparently besties with Ashley St. Clair.
Oh,
you know,
figure. Just as a side note, yesterday I told our team that I think he reminds me of the gay guy in Legally Blonde. You guys remember? And he was like, "Don't tap your last season Prada shoes at me, bitch." Remember? Remember? That's who he is to me. That's who he reminds me of. He just has that kind of attitude about him. So knowing that these two are like BFFs actually doesn't shock me.
Well, he was not happy with what you just heard from Meghan. And so when Meghan tweeted that video, he responded to it. And so please read for our audience what he said.
Megyn Kelly, the woman in question, is my friend. She has worked hard for years and built a career for herself and has never needed a man to support her. Matter of fact, she's lived in swanky New York City apartments for years at her own dime. The suggestion that she slept with a man and had a baby in exchange for a good life not working is insulting and wrong. I think people should sit back and stop opining on a story without any base knowledge on the matter. Ashley didn't have her kid alone. Last I checked, she wasn't impregnated by the Holy Spirit, the Holly Spirit. Please respect that there is a kid involved and stop saying these awful things for views and clicks. Ashley is a strong, independent woman, an award-winning director, an author and former editor of the largest satire site in the country. She's a phenomenal mother of 2 children and dedicates her life to them. Anyone saying anything else is 100% not in the know. Okay.
And then he went on to say, you can read this next one as well.
There was more. She wasn't afforded privacy when the dirty rag Daily Mail was coming out with a bombastic story in hours. She got ahead of it the best she could to control the narrative.
And that's where I was just like, I'm done here. I'm going to need to have some say in this. And so I wrote back to George and we had a tiny back and forth. But what I said to him was just some questions that I think are very natural questions. And I said, so the question is, so what if the Daily Mail had come out with the story? Honestly, Ashley would have seemed more sympathetic if the story had come out about her instead of her doing a full interview and like glamorous photo spread in the New York Post. She could have at least actually seemed like she meant it about wanting privacy had she just not said anything. And exactly how was she forced into silence? Because unless she was held at gunpoint, this makes no sense unless she's seeking a lot of money. Elon's going to have to pay child support regardless. So why couldn't she talk to anyone that she wanted to? Was it because she's negotiating for more money?
Yes.
Do you see why this looks like such a gold digger move to the average person?
Yep. All great questions.
I think these are reasonable, right?
Yeah, we'd love, that'd be great to have an answer to that since she's putting herself out there, you know? Okay.
Well, here's what he said. He said, as someone who knows the facts, I assure you, you have it wrong.
That's
and
it.
I was like,
that's all he said.
That does not answer the question at all, which is why people will continue to speculate about her motives. This is not hard. This is not hard at all.
Hard. It isn't hard at all. Yeah. And nobody forced her to do those things. I know a lot of people, my mother-in-law is one of them, who raised a really great kid on her own, you know, because the man walked away. And Elon's not walking away. He's going to actually pay her. But like, there is a bit of a negotiating feel here.
Yep.
And that is, you cannot claim to be a victim when you're put up at some lavish New York City apartment, you know, with your 2 kids, one of which is from another man. So
it's just an interesting thing. Lots of unanswered questions. And so, you don't get to tell Megyn Kelly to stop opining about it because there's a baby involved. Ashley has brought the attention to her by doing that story.
Right.
And so we're going to opine as much as we want.
There's going to be some opining.
All right, moving on to the next sex power story. Because there's a lot of them in this segment.
Sex and power.
Yeah. So this is interesting. There was a video that went viral yesterday of a woman, I think it was in the UK somewhere, or maybe I just made that up. But anyway, it doesn't matter. She's getting ready to go on a run. And she posted this video of a guy as she's tying her shoes or whatever. She's bent over, she's wearing leggings. And so this guy ogles her butt and like makes some comments about her butt, like nice butt. Thank you for the view, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And she is so distraught over this that she can barely make it through a run without tears as she talks about it. Here it is, and then we'll discuss.
Sorry.
You're filming yourself, like on the.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling very nice because of what that man just said. I just hate stuff like that. It makes me feel really horrible. So I just gotta keep running through it.
Gotta keep running through it.
You can tell she's not a Gen Xer.
Oh my God, so fragile.
So fragile. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest, and I'll probably get killed for this, but if I were bending over and some guy said nice ass to me, I'd be like, thanks.
I know, same.
That's maybe it's just the age we are. I honestly think a lot of it has to do with being in that generation as opposed to our generation. It's just, so what? If a guy like cat calls, I'd be like, that's sweet. Thanks. Come on,
but that's how this generation has been conditioned because they grew up in the Me Too movement, and they have been told, thanks to Ashley Judd and other psychos, that if you are catcalled, that is sexual assault.
Oh my God.
That is literally a form of sexual assault, sexual harassment, the whole 9 yards. And so they've been conditioned to think, oh my God, I'm a victim of this man's compliments.
Right. And sometimes
so
it's just that a dude being a dude making a compliment, like giving you a compliment. That's all it is. Yes, Mock. I mean, that's it. And it drives me nuts because listen, there are some jerk guys out there that are kind of skeevy, but what happened there? He was just like, nice butt, you know, you're bending over filming something
in leggings.
Right.
You're bending all the way over.
So much pearl clutching in that generation. So much. Yeah.
I mean, he just said like it was a nice view.
Right.
Calm down. Okay, moving on to our next sex and power story. This is women going after women. And so I found this such an interesting exchange. Natalie Winters, who is gorgeous. She works for the War Room. She's super young, brilliant. She's amazing. And we are mutual followers of each other on X. And she was at, what's that hotel that we stayed at in DC?
Oh, the Gaylord. The Gaylord.
Yes, the Gaylord.
Beautiful.
So she was there doing whatever, like she was attending some sort of conference, and she posted a picture of herself in an adorable pink dress, and she captioned it "waste," spelled W-A-I-S-T, fraud and abuse. And she has like a phenomenal figure. She looks adorable. And so here is the photo for reference. So she said more waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, look at her. She's
adorable. Oh my gosh.
Spectacular.
Cute dress, right? Adorable.
Gorgeous.
The whole outfit is precious. Yeah.
But there is also another very, very popular influencer on all social platforms, Pearl Davis. I don't know if you've heard of her. She is mean to a lot of people. Mean. And she went after Natalie in the dumbest way, because what you see in this photo, hopefully, is just a girl in a cute dress.
Beautiful girl. It's a beautiful girl. Just be like, hi, this is me in my cute outfit.
Right? Yeah. Like, it's not, Anyway, you'll see what Pearl wrote back to her. It was utterly over the top. She responded to this photo by retweeting it and saying, I have never seen women fight for anything harder than the ability to be naked.
What? She's far from naked. It's like a sweater dress. It's like, what are you doing?
What in the world, Pearl? So then Natalie responded, and here is what she said back. Let me just get to that next screen.
So ridiculous.
She said, I think they call this a dress. And Pearl said, I don't care what you do, but you will not gaslight me into thinking that pose and outfit is appropriate. Women in media are so good at using their sexuality to get ahead, demanding I not notice, and also demand to be taken seriously, LMAO.
She can't help her body. She can't help her body. Like, she's got a banging body. She looks great in that dress. What is she supposed to do? Wear a muumuu?
Apparently, according to Pearl.
Lord.
But the problem is that Natalie had some receipts. And so she found a photo of Pearl and said back to her, this is my favorite thing ever.
Juicy. I love this stuff too.
She said, okay. And posted this god-awful picture of Pearl in a very skanky little dress.
It's a skanky little pink dress. Also pink,
Also pink,
but
which I thought was very, very interesting.
Not as cute. Not
as cute. And showing, frankly, a lot more leg.
And I don't think she's wearing a bra here.
Right. Like everything is wrong. Everything that she accused Natalie of, she is guilty of in this photo. And the most hilarious thing about this entire exchange was that Elon weighed in. And so when Natalie tweeted that, he just did a laughing emoji. And then Pearl got butthurt and was like, there's levels to thirst trapping, Elon. And then Natalie was like, you mean there are? Natalie's my favorite person after this. I just cannot get enough of this. I love it so much.
We need to get Natalie on our show. I like her.
Oh my God. That was amazing.
It is.
Absolutely
amazing. And Elon's like, maybe I could have a 14th child with this woman.
Next victim coming up.
Right.
All right. I know that's all really, really girly. So we do have something for, well, this is actually for the women too.
It's for men and women.
But this is also about men. And this is the last thing in the segment before we get to a few talks and some thank yous. There was an interesting set of pictures of, I think, 12 different male body types. And the question was to anybody who sees these photos, what is the ideal male body? And I just thought this was so interesting reading through the answers. So I wanted to show the picture to our audience so that they could also weigh in on the ideal male physique. So here are the physiques, all different kinds of bodies that you can see here, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is ideal?
Number 3.
That is exactly the one that I picked is number 3.
Number 3.
It is totally the right physique.
Right.
I mean, when you look at like a number 9, that's where you're like, okay, that guy literally does nothing but work out, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be with I can't be with somebody who that's all they care about is their body. I just can't because I mean let's face
it. Pretty, like it's
beautiful,
attractive.
Beautiful body. Yeah. But like 3, it's more, listen, he's like teetering on at some point I could get a dad bod. He could be a little more of a 2 or a 4, which I would be okay with. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I think women feel like, maybe I shouldn't speak for all women, but I feel like he's a normal guy. He actually takes care of himself, but he's not overly obsessed with himself.
Yes. And I feel that way a little bit too. Like my second choice was number 7 because I thought, okay, well, I mean, that guy the difference is he has abs. Like he's clearly worked his abs. Right.
He's just leaner. Yeah.
But like all like the for sure 10, 11 and 12, gross like that. I don't know any woman. Well, I'm sure there are women who find that attractive.
Well, they're also bodybuilders. That's who finds it attractive. They're the women that do the same stuff, they kind of flock together. Yeah.
I just no, thank you to all of
but
that.
But I mean, like number 10, 11, and 12, even 9, 10, 11, and 12, they would be like, hey baby, let's go work out. And I'd be like, really?
Right.
Can we just
have donuts? I just want donuts.
Right. Can we just have a coffee date and have some pastries? Because I don't want to do that. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought this was an interesting experience. I see a lot of 3s and 7s. I see a lot of 6s, 2s. Yeah, I mean, I think women in general are just like, we just want normal.
We like
Can we get
normal
some
dudes.
normal all up in here?
Yeah, normal, healthy dudes is what we
Yeah.
want. Right. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right. So concludes our sex segment. There was a lot of stuff in there, right?
There was. Sex and
lot of
power, you
stuff in there.
guys, and bodies flying all
Yeah.
over the place. Yeah, I hope
A
everybody's
lot of
okay.
bodies.
Mhm.
All right, it's time for some My Pillow talks. Different kinds of talks today for sure. This first one, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it. Maybe I shouldn't laugh, like, because it's mean. It's a little bit mean.
Is it mean?
But
Okay.
it's a little bit mean,
We'll be
but
mean
also
with you.
hilarious.
Okay.
Guys,
Well-
there's this guy. I've seen him before, but this is a little montage of him. This guy is an absolute menace to drive-through workers because he does this thing where he pretends that he's got visual problems and he can't read the menu, and he wants them to help, like to tell him what the specials are or whatever. And then what he does is mean, okay? But like, I cannot stop laughing at this. Watch.
Can you tell me what comes on the A1 burger?
Yeah, honestly.
Hey, how we doing today? I'm doing all right. I don't have my glasses with me. Can you tell me what all goes on the Lovers deal, the $7 deal Lovers?
So, the deal Lovers consists of medium 1 toppings, 8
I'm sorry, I can't read your menu board. It's fogged up or something.
Oh,
and I got bummed me. I can't come inside. What kind of platters do you have?
You want a fish and chicken platter, or you want fish and shrimp?
What all comes on it, like the sides?
Oh, it comes with sides, yeah. We got number 10, 2 fish, 6 shrimp, and number...
Like what?
So mean.
No, it
This
doesn't
is so
say it
mean.
on the menu, so I don't know what it comes in before I...
In the Southwest salad is pepper jack cheese.
Why? He's so mean. I mean, I know, right? I'm there for it though. It's kind of funny.
Oh my God. I don't know why I find that so funny,
Because
but
he's
I
like,
do.
and he's totally emotionless too. He's mazy too.
And I love it when he's like, yeah, I left my glasses at home and they're literally on his
face. You know what though? I do that, but I do that too. So I can't fault him for that. Where are my glasses? They're on your face, Daisy.
But you don't terrorize
I
drive-through
don't.
workers.
I
So.
don't. But it's kind
All
of funny
right.
though.
I loved it. All right. So now there's a new term that this man is going to explain that is the counterpart to mansplaining. We've all heard that term, right?
Yes.
Mansplaining.
Uh-huh.
So now we have a new counterpart, and I think it's a pretty good one. Let me just I think I went too far forward. Hang on. Okay, here we go.
We've all heard of mansplaining, but allow me to introduce you to shelaborating. It is when you ask a woman a very, very simple question and she sits you down and gives you a
Yes.
30-minute answer.
That's me. I've done that. I think I'm guilty of that. My husband will be like, "Can you get to the point?" he'll say that to me, and I'm like, am I going wrong? Yes, I asked you a simple question, and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, honey. I know your
God.
man brain needs to be linear. I get it. We are like all over the place."
I love that word. Shelaborating.
So great.
So great.
Mhm.
All right. Just a few more because we do have to have like regular talks, of
Yes.
course. And so we have another episode, if you will, another montage of the destruction of dogs.
No! 我从把门给我盖起来了。
Yes.
No, I said, what did you do?
I'll show you what I did.
I've never wanted to murder a dog in my entire life. Ah, there you are.
So proud.
Oh my God.
No.
What? What'd I do? What?
No!
What a
What are you doing?
cutie.
So
I couldn't
just
be
got
mad at
home
her.
from work. What are you doing?
I'm a big. Yeah, that. Oh my God. I mean, at least it's outside.
Oh my God.
I've had that happen. I've had it
Mimi?
happen. I've had coffee tables eaten. I had one dog, not a border collie. It was a regular smooth collie, Jake. He ate
like a lassie. You had a lassie dog?
I had a lassie dog that was smooth. So he was like a short-haired lassie, beautiful dog, but completely psychotic. You guys, it ended up on the news in Atlanta. Like he had like separation anxiety, and they did like a story on him. I'm telling you, like it was crazy.
Oh my
He
gosh.
ate a wall. He ate an entire wall. He ate a wall. He had like a whole mattress. We put him like in the house thinking he's gonna be fine. He just destroyed an entire mattress. Some dogs are just destructive. Yeah, they just are. I know.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Right.
Those were
It
hilarious.
happens.
All right, now we have some cats, and this is wild because these are cats twinning. Like I assume not on purpose, but the level to which they are twinning is incredible. Check this out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mimi.
Oh my gosh. I love them. It's choreographed.
Isn't that wild?
It is wild. It's absolutely choreographed. Oh my gosh. Crazy. All of them. I love them. I love all of them.
Isn't that crazy? I just love that story.
It is crazy. They should have named at least 2 of those animals Mock and Daisy. They should.
For sure.
Somebody should.
They absolutely should have.
Mhm.
All right, last one. And it's a very, very sweet, sweet story because if there's ever a story that has babies, this one doesn't. But like these are the stories that we will gravitate to.
Totally.
Babies, old people,
People,
animals.
Animals. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this one has 2 out of the 3.
Oh my
and it is the most precious story from ABC. Listen.
The man still spreading kindness at 96.
Bill Talon has a special way he starts each day, rolling out his bike, filling his basket with goodies, and then heading out on his route. That's Bill at 96 years old on wheels, stopping to pass out treats to all the pets in his community in Mesa, Arizona. 3 cats and 30 dogs.
Nothing is more important to him than seeing Bill.
Every day, rain or shine, for the last 23 years.
The dogs all know him, love him, just love him.
I have several dogs and cats at home, and so I started giving them treats, and I've been doing so ever since.
He knows most of the pets by name.
Your next customer is waiting for you.
And he's always right on time.
He does this in all kinds of weather. It can be chilly, it can be rainy, and Bill is out delivering the treats to the pups.
If they're not there, he leaves a little something anyway.
He's an inspiration to us because he's 96 and he's active.
Yes.
He's on the bike.
And he has no plans of slowing down.
Oh my God.
Is that the cutest?
It is the absolute cutest. I want to be able to ride a bike when I'm 96, let alone do all that. What a wonderful man. God bless him.
I just love that story so
I
much.
do. So sweet.
All right, we have thank yous from yesterday and today, and then I do have one gift that I need to ask everybody about because it came anonymously. So we'll start with yesterday's Venmo. We had one from Deidre Dulcie, who said, "Thanks for doing what you do. By the way, I live in Glen Rose, Texas, the dinosaur capital of Texas."
Hi, from a fellow Texan. Hello.
I'm sorry, but what does that mean? The dinosaur capital?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that out. Do they just have like all sorts of exhibits and everything about dinosaurs? I'll have to check.
I mean,
it out.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
From Locals, Gerber says, "Happy 43rd anniversary to my wonderful man, Tom. Tom was an airline transport pilot and check airman for 35 years before they took the keys to the plane away. We know many pilots, male and female, that go above and beyond in their careers. I think it is wise to see what the investigators find in any accident."
True.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
Very, very much agreement. Yep.
Osuki says, "I've got a Snoopy shirt from Cracker Barrel. He's riding a stick horse. I love that shirt." I'm telling you guys, Cracker Barrel is the bomb when it comes to
clothing and just shopping in general. I love that place.
I love that place so
You got to
much.
spend an extra hour there after you eat just to shop.
Yeah, for real. SC Plot says, oh my God, I was going to ask Mock where she got her cozy jacket. Also, I love shopping at Cracker Barrel too. Thanks for another great show. Love you, chicks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now you. Okay.
Avatar Ashkenazi. It's an awful day. The media in Israel tried to cover it, but the images still went online. I just can't comprehend that Kefir never had his first birthday. We're all mourning in our own way here. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I really am. It's just awful. Kristen H. I'm devastated for the Bibas family, mom and 2 babies. I was praying they were alive, and they're not just dead, they were murdered. Absolutely, exactly. Kristen. BTK, we need 24/7 DOGE TV with info and lists of government grift. I think that there are sites.
There's a website.
There's websites, but because do people really watch TV anymore? Do they? It's like they're always online, right? Kim Lambert, make the FBI great again today. Yes. Cannot wait. Jose Rodriguez, morning from Texas. I'm tired of winning, but I'm about to catch my second breath. Take my DOGE dividends wad. I love it. Thank you, Jose. Lee Kaiser, Elon offering Wikipedia $1 billion to the Dickopedia. Responded for $1 billion will be dicks on the right. I snorted my drink through my nose reading that. Stay the same and keep me laughing, because that's Mock yesterday. He offered what they were talking about, changing Wikipedia to Dickopedia, and Mock tweeted, "Listen, for $1 billion, we totally
volunteer as tribute."
Right? She said it to me at first, and behind the scenes, I'm like, "You got to tweet that to Elon, because maybe he'll actually give us $1 billion. Like, I'd be fine with like 1,000. That would be great.
I would be fine with a retweet at this point.
I would too. I know, right? Kelly Basoko, Urbita ES. Do I have that right? 64 today, spending it with COTR at 5 in the morning in California. Well, thank you for being here with us. Happy birthday. Teresa Raimundo, Superstar is a great show. Jesus Christ, Superstar. I've seen it many times. The character is powerful and masculine. The play is about the journey that Jesus Christ takes before his final days. She's not the one for that journey. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so weird.
Why do they do this?
I don't know, man.
Just
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You guys, who sent me this? Who sent me this? This is super cute.
Show yourself.
This is gonna go great in a bathroom. I need to know who sent this. It came anonymously.
It's
this
adorable.
Little whale. I know, I love it.
Cute. Everything in your house is blue and white.
Yeah, I totally love that. But like, I would like to know who sent it, please.
Yeah, you guys. So, like, fess up. Somebody needs to fess up. And we're going to bring it in. We're bringing it in.
Bringing it in. That was a long show.
It's Thursday. We're on the downhill slope to Friday, you guys. Everybody have the best Thursday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.